and Shine, where we shine the spotlight on gender-based violence. And this feature comes on Tuesdays, of course, here on Channel Africa during this show. So farm workers harvest and supply food to millions every day, but frequently live with poor pay, terrible living conditions, and precarious employment to produce a huge amount of surplus value for their employees via their labor. Farm workers are the cornerstone of Africa's food security, as noted by relevant trade unions, yet they remain the most brutally exploited in the labor market, while practical interventions in this area have been weak and episodic, in large part because of an interest in the economic fortunes of the commercial farming sector. One such serious problem in how especially women farm workers are exploited is the gender-based violence they are subjected to, in addition to other ways that they are treated. To help us unpack GBV on the women farm workers community is Women on Farms Project spokesperson Lenishia Frank, a South African-based civil society organization concerned with the plight and advocacy of farm worker rights. Lenishia, thank you for joining us. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Asanya. Thank you. I'm well.
Thanks for making time. So let's start by a background then on the Women on Farms project.
So, Women on Farms Project is a feminist organization based in Stellenbosch and also in the Northern Cape. Women on Farms Project has been working with women farm workers and dwellers since 1996, which started out as a research project by a group of lawyers and then became and registered as an NGO. We are also based in the Northern Cape since 2009. And the mission of Women on Farms Project is to strengthen and support and capacitate women farm workers and dwellers to know their rights and to claim those rights.
What is your evaluation on the conditions that women farm workers experience that are unique to their male counterparts? And how do various institutions deal or tackle these?
So, women farm workers, dwellers, they are particularly seasonal workers, which means that they are even more vulnerable to gender-based violence and to any form of abuse, consequently as a result of the seasonal labor. And that makes them so unique to the male counterparts because what we have also observed is that home ownership is that men they have ownership of the homes and women don't, which makes women even more vulnerable during the off season when women are unemployed. You can see an influx in household domestic violence and various forms of abuse, and also it also then contributes to food insecurity in the house and the women's financial dependency on their male counterparts, and then also the issue of housing, whereby women don't have ownership of homes on the farms, as farmers give the male counterparts ownership of homes, which even makes them vulnerable to evictions. So these are various factors that contribute to women's vulnerabilities, and also the fact that women farm workers are marginalized and they continue to be marginalized. And the response from institutions, I would rather say that there is little to no response. And if we look at institutions such as SAPS, our South African Police Services within the rural context, women have challenges with accessing police services, whereby we see that when women call for help, they would say that there are limited vehicles to come and respond to these cases of gender based violence, or when women go and report cases, there is this ignorance around the issue, and also accessing courts. Our women face various challenges such as intimidation, language barriers when accessing magistrate courts to get a protection order. So there are so many barriers and obstacles for women when accessing various institutions that are in place to actually support women, but still continue to fail them.
How prevalent is the problem of gender based violence within farm workers? Do you have figures?
At hand, I don't have figures, but what I can say through our observation and work with women farm workers is that gender-based violence it is rife. There's no amount of statistics that could actually even kind of substantiate the significance of gender-based violence, taking into context that there are the underreporting of GBV as well, and just the fear of victimization and the fear of what will happen to my children, what will happen to me if I report that I'm being abused, what will happen to my employment. So really, really, it is quite a cross-cutting and very complex case when we get to reporting and numbers.
Talking of the complexities around this topic, what is the operating context of farm labor in South Africa, for example, particularly the history of commercial farming tracing back to the period of 1994, which can serve as an important tool in understanding the factors that drive GBV or gender based violence amongst farm women?
So we could see that before the apartheid policies has really, really segregated and the exploitive labor practices that black farm workers experience, and the unfair practice, and also the payment of the dope system, how workers were remunerated through alcohol. And we can see today that in the community, within the farming community, we can see that truly that practice still lies and have left a lot of scars, deep entrenched scars, and it's almost inherited substance abuse, alcohol abuse, which also is various causal factors of gender-based violence, alcohol dependency, which you could also see evident with children. More and more children are becoming fetal alcohol syndrome. They have fetal alcohol syndrome. They are malnutrition, and you could just see how this it has it became entrenched in rural communities through the previous and historical practices.
So, how should regulatory frameworks that govern labor on the continent be explored in order to change what we see on this topic?
We would say that firstly, we need to start with our budgets and government looking into the experiences of the rural communities, budgets that are people centered, and also we can see the effects of the austerity budget cuts, for instance, that the health system and the various health service delivery in the rural context, it is so undignified, understaffed. So we could see that it goes across institutions, goes across departments, health, education, police, and so forth. So definitely we would have to look at what are the budget allocations, and the resources that are available in the rural communities. Are there sufficient Tutuzela care centers? Are there safe houses that women can actually go to? Are there enough NGOs operating in rural communities?
Lenisha, thank you so much again for your time. That's all that we have time for today. And I'm sure we'll continue having these very important conversations. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Lenishia Frank is spokesperson for the Women on Farms project. It's based here in South Africa.
Wake up to the essence of the continent.